I mean, despite adding in a whole other book, I still mostly got done what I planned, so hey, that works. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing my weekly update and letting you know what I read here in these ones. And I had in the last one said I was going to be mostly doing Black Powder War, which is the third Temera book, and Desperate Dispatches by Mike Molman, which is the fourth or like 3.5 of Protectors of Brittany, depending on how you count those as well. And also that I'd probably be starting The Burning Stone by Kate Elliott on audio. This is Crown of Stars Book 3. And I didn't do all of those things, but in addition, I also decided to throw in kind of last second How to Rule an Empire and Get Away with It by K.J. Parker. This is the second book in the Siege trilogy, kind of. It's not like a direct trilogy, but they're connected because I just got the third book, which was sent to me as a birthday gift, and so I'm like, oh, well, now I really want to read the second one, because I've been looking forward to it continuing, because I like the first one, but I'm like, I don't have the third one, so I'll just wait, and then I had it, I'm like, well, now I have no excuse, and I really wanted to, so I read that one as well. So we're going to talk about all of these things here, and go from there. So let's start with Temera. And so Black Powder War is the third book, and after having read that, I did like book 3 a little bit more than book 2, but the first one is still definitely my favorite. And I do plan on making a video, kind of a discussion on the first 3 books, part review, part discussion, talking about that'll be coming out later this week as well, talking more. But Black Powder War it brought back some of the magic of the first one. I don't mean literal magic, by the way, just some of the things that worked really, really well for me, and fun interactions, and also had some more action. But still wasn't quite there. It also does still feel like there's a lot more being set up. This is, although you get a complete kind of arc in each book here, there's a lot being set up, so you can tell that there's going to be more to come. I do plan on continuing still for it, but you definitely, the first one's some of my favorites so far. But we'll talk more about that later this week. And then we have Desperate Dispatches by Mike Molman, which I'm actually not quite done with yet. I have a little bit left here. We're getting closer. This one is it is slightly longer than I realized, and it's not super long. It's like, I don't know, 350 pages maybe. It's actually a little under that, so I really don't have that much excuse. Like I said, I threw in an extra book, took away some of my physical reading time for this. So I finished the first. This one follows 4 different POVs, and I finished the first 3. We've got Glassna, Krissa, Blackstinius, and then Arthmal. I'm probably mispronouncing most of these, but I'm on the last chunk now, so the last fourth, and I'm a few chapters in. So I'll still be done with this very soon, within the next day or so, hopefully at the most. I was hoping to finish it actually today. I wanted to finish it yesterday, but so I might even finish it today after filming this. But enjoying this so far. I really enjoyed this world, and chock full of demon summoning and elemental magic and dragons, which was a first. And then we get to see some other more deep dives into the magic, different races, dwarves, some like elf tree-like kind of people, all kinds of stuff. Just continuing to be a fun time. And I was actually going to make a joke, because I always feel like the way this series works is you have Becoming a Druid and To Speak with Elders, which are the two like mainline following Grommy, the main character, and then Sins and Sorrows, which is, I have a copy now. Sins and Sorrows is kind of the between book, where we're doing different POVs and finding out what's happening between. So this is that. This is following different POVs other than Grommy. Then the next book will be back to Grommy. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this, getting to see some different sides, different places, settings, and I think it's a fun way to do it, where you have your mainline first person, but then you have the other first person POVs in these between books as well. So I've been having a really good time, which I figured I probably would. I've enjoyed the series a lot so far, and looking forward to finishing that up. So then we have How to Rule an Empire and Get Away with It, K.J. Parker. Like I said, the second in the Siege trilogy, so to speak. And these do stand alone. Like, you could read this without having read 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City, and vice versa. They don't necessarily have to be read in order. Although this does absolutely follow up on 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City. It's a completely different POV, and it takes place some years after. But it's still, we're still looking at a similar setting. We have some other characters that we're seeing again, but the feel is a little bit different here. And the first book had to do with an engineer who was colonel of an engineer corps, and he got pulled up and ended up having to basically take over the defense of the city, and that was the thing here. And here we're going sort of similar, but a different way about it. But we're dealing with an actor and writer, and who ends up in something and ends up having to go. I'm trying to be vague here to not spoil, and also be involved in some leadership of the city there. So, which you can kind of see what's going to happen. And when I just tell you it's an actor, I feel like you can probably figure that out too as well. This, though, it felt a little bit more, if you look at this as like the old style, this tragedy comedy thing from Greek times too. This is a little more on the tragedy side versus the comedy side, I would say, like 16 Ways was. But it's, I think, still solid, still has some good, the dry humor, but this one felt a little bit less humorous in the tone. And so I think I like the first one a bit more because of that as well. And I think some of it, the engineer figuring things out was a little bit more fun for me than like the actor trying to do it. Although I still had a good time. And this is still like the first book was like a really solid 4-star. This one's like probably rounding up to 4 still. So I'm really interested to see what the third one is going to be though, because I actually had a thought that I wonder if they're going to go back and follow this character or they're not. I think that it's probably going to take place also after this, but I don't know because I haven't started it yet. But still a unique series. And I did do a review of 16 Ways, and a lot of that still applies here. I think if you liked that, you're going to like this. I like 16 Ways to Defend the Walled City a little bit more, but this is still we got the same kind of tone. We're following a different kind of character, so we're getting a different viewpoint, essentially, on some similar ideas. If you like theater and some of those kinds of tropes and things that go with it too, I think you'll also enjoy this because you get a little bit more of that versus the other one, which is more engineering focused. But either way, really solid book, and I am looking forward to reading the third one, which is How to Rule the World and Get Away with It, I think, or something to that effect. Yeah, it's over there. I realize not actually behind me, so I can't see. But anyway, I am looking forward to that as well. And then, of course, we have the Burning Stone by Kate Elliott, book 3 in Crown of Stars, and I am not super far into this yet because I actually started this a bit later than I was planning. And it's a decently long book, so I got a ways to go. But I'll be finishing this up before month end here. I'd been saying so this one it was my least favorite when I first went through, and I do remember exactly why it was my least favorite. Which I haven't gotten to any of the stuff that I wasn't a huge fan of. Although I don't know, maybe I just because there were some things I didn't like, and because that book 4 is my absolute favorite book of the series, maybe I forgot how many good things there are. Because already I'm pretty early on. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that's in this book. These things that I like, so I'm having a good time, and I expect I'll enjoy this a little bit more, knowing where it's coming now as well. And so I'm excited to continue here. But I've really been enjoying the Crown of Stars reread. I was laughing when I looked at this though, because I'm doing audio for this reread. Like I've said, I read them all physically initially. You can see here on the cover our main character here, who on the audio cover they decided to make white and a redhead for some reason, and I don't understand that decision art-wise whatsoever. Because yeah, definitely not, and like even specifically in this book, very relevant to the plot that she's not. So just weird decisions. The audio covers are actually. I'm not the biggest fan of the physical covers, even though I love the series. The audio covers are so much worse. So, anyway, there's that one. So, those are what I've been reading. So, mostly as expected. I was really hoping to have started The Lions of Al-Rasan this week, but I got slowed down a little bit. So, I will be still starting this once I finish up Desperate Dispatches. I'm just going to focus on just getting that finished up first. Then I will be moving on to Lions of Al-Rasan and giving this a read. And then probably the other thing that I will specifically be reading, it might be the only other thing I read in this last week of the month, is That Way It Lies to Camelot by Janie Wirtz, which is a short story collection. And I've been really interested in reading this. I actually forgot I hadn't read this because I've had this for a bit, and I was going to read it last year, but I ended up, instead of reading this, I ended up reading something else at the time, and then I went and were like, oh no, I want to read the short stories that are from Wars of Light and Shadow, and then I was binging Wars of Light and Shadow, and then I just never got to it, and I've kind of forgotten. So next month for Readathon, if you saw my TBR for that, I'm using Master of Whitestorm as the last book in her backlist, so I need to read the one other one I have not read yet from her, and so that's where I'm like, I better get that done. So yes, so I'm gonna also be reading that one, which should be a pretty quick one. And then we'll see if I have room for anything else. I probably am not gonna have a whole lot of reading time next weekend, so we'll kind of see. And then I want to make sure that I'm not hopefully in the middle of anything too much. So as the month ends, since I'll be starting the readathon, which if you want to see all the stuff I'll be reading there. But I'll probably in the next week's weekly update talk about go back to the stack of books that I had. Like I might read these because I did get to most, and I knew I wasn't going to get to all, but at least some. So I've gotten to some of them, which is positive at least. But yeah, we'll be going from very out there to very rigidly set TBR for April with the Battle of the Bands Readathon, which you can still sign up for at this point. I will link down to that announcement video as well if you want to see more about that as well. But yeah, I'm excited for that. A lot of great stuff and stuff I wanted to get to for a long time that I put on my TBR for that. But that's pretty much what I read this week and some stuff that is coming up. So that's really it for this video. So make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description as always for the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether these books, other books, really anything at all. It is a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.